4th of July is just around the corner, but that's not the only event to be excited for in the month of July. We wanted to take some time to discuss some of the other fun-filled summer events that are happening here within our very own local community. That's next on WNIN Newsmakers. There are so many great events for our community to enjoy this summer. Not only do we have the incredible fireworks show to look forward to, but we have musical performances, games to play, and so much more. The 4th of July is next Monday, and I'm pleased to announce or to introduce Josh Armstrong and Adam Trinkle from downtown Evansville. They are some of the driving forces that help get the Fireworks on the Ohio event up and going, and it takes a lot of things to get it moving. So thanks for joining us today, guys.
It's our pleasure.
So tell us, when does the prep work for a large event like this begin?
So with all of our events, it's kind of the same. About a week afterwards, we sit down and we just go through the event and we talk about how we want to make it better for the next year. That's sort of where it starts. The kind of active work really began, I think, January, end of January, right. Beginning with sponsorship asks, and then a lot of regulatory hurdles have to be cleared for an event of this scale.
What all do you have to do to plan and arrange all of that?
Right, with the show actually being on the water, we have to get approval from the Coast Guard. So we work with the Coast Guard, and then of course our pyrotechnic contractor works at the state level with various different agencies like Homeland Security to get the actual permit, and then that has to be approved by the fire department. So it really is just a very lengthy process, a lot of different approvals, just checks and balances really. And then of course we have very generous support for this event. We have to secure a barge, which is thankfully donated by our friends at Moser Crushed Stone. So the barge takes the crew out there, and that's actually where the fireworks are discharged.
Well, and you mentioned the actual sponsorship. So this isn't like taxpayer money or anything. You actually get sponsors and corporate sponsors to host this event, correct?
Absolutely. So it's presented by our friends at Bally's Evansville. And we don't use tax dollars and we don't use Economic Improvement District dollars, which fund most of our activities throughout the year. So this is a lot of asks, and it does take a lot of work to put together the over $60,000 that we need to get this show up.
So how do you go about both picking fireworks? Where do you get them? Those types of neat things. What goes into that type of planning?
Well, first of all, we rely on the expertise of our pyrotechnic contractor. They're, I would say, local. They're based down in the state. They're Casabella Pyrotechnics. We worked with them for 2 years now, and they do over 100 shows a year. So they have a lot of experience, a lot of background, and so they pull together the show. They did a really nice job. You know, in the past we used a different contractor, but we were excited to move to them because we really felt like the show was very well choreographed. There were a lot of highs and lows, and the music really matched that well. And so it's about a 20-minute show that you'll see this year on July 4th. And it's really just their expertise. We rely on them to do that because they're the experts.
They also take advantage of our unique feature here, which is being on the river.
Right.
So previously, our contractor loved to throw things up high in the sky and not be able to have that reflective surface. And so Casabella does a great job of actually bringing the water into the show. It's pretty spectacular.
Wonderful. So different types of fireworks this year than what, like you said, than what we've kind of seen in the past. What types of things can we expect?
Yeah, they do a lot of different ones. I mean, I had to do some research when he sent us the list of fireworks, but he'll have willow fireworks, chrysanthemums, I believe. What were some of the other ones?
Peonies, crossettes, these backwards shooting fireworks, wave, and then again, some high, some low.
Yeah.
Over 4,000 fireworks will be shot in that roughly 20-minute period. So it's intense, but there's also pauses, an opportunity for you as a viewer to kind of catch your breath and sort of reset yourself for the next crescendo. It almost works a lot like a symphonic experience in terms of the highs and lows of the show.
Well, and you mentioned that it's always so well choreographed with the music. How do they time the fireworks with the music? What goes into that?
It's software. It is software. They program this through a choreography software program, and then they load it onto the barge in a certain order. It's wired in this order, and then they hit go. It's about a third of a second discrepancy is the max that can be on this whole system.
Wow.
And that's not only for a great show, but also for the safety of the people that are on the barge too.
Yes.
They need to know exactly what's going to happen and when, and it's just really cool to watch this all come together.
Very neat. Well, let's talk a little bit about safety. I mean, you are on the water. People do boat a lot on 4th of July. So what type of perimeter do you need to set up in terms of people who expect to be on the water that day? How close can people get? And then keeping people safe actually on the riverfront as they bring their families down.
Right. Safety is paramount for this event. It's our largest event we host each year. And so to your point about the water, that's why the Coast Guard is involved. It's a very necessary and important check in the process. So, you know, we outline where the barge will be located. They're out there on the water kind of monitoring the situation as well, and our crew does a great job themselves. When you come on land, there's a whole nother element of safety. So
right.
I want to say we have wonderful partners with the Evansville Police Department, the Evansville Fire Department, and EMS services, and they'll have a strong presence at this event. The main thing that we always tell individuals who come, because we anticipate, you know, approximately 30,000 come to this event throughout the evening. Mm-hmm. If you see something that concerns you, say something to an Evansville police officer. We try to promote that, you know, we don't want people to bring their own fireworks. We're putting on a great show for you.
Right.
Don't bring items like scooters, bicycles, you know, pets, you know, because pets don't enjoy fireworks anyways.
Right. You're going to be
coolers or all those large items, because we just have so many people along the riverfront, and we're just trying to make sure it's a safe environment for everyone.
So let's talk a little bit logistics. When should people start to set up and arrive? What can they expect in terms of parking? And again, keeping people safe on the roadways as they're walking kids across the street and things like that. Any tips there?
So the city of Evansville provides free parking in the municipal garages that day. Great. So that's closest one is on the corner of 3rd and Walnut, but there are numerous garages around downtown Evansville and street parking. If I would suggest coming around 6:30, 7 o'clock, getting something to eat at one of our 16, 17 food trucks that'll be there.
Wonderful.
Enjoying the sort of pre-show. This year, due to sponsorship from our friends at Ruler Food, we have a kids play area that is going to be set up. So trying to, and something we wanted to do last year, how do we make this a better event for families? So kind of get there, get settled, and then when it's done, you know, clean up your area and move out, because as soon as people are able to clear Riverside Drive, we work really quickly to try to get that reopened for all the traffic that needs to be on that street.
Wonderful. So big takeaway from this, it's really an evening event. Don't just come for the fireworks at 9 o'clock, right? You're going to have all kinds of activities for people to come down and enjoy and spend the evening with their families. So 4th of July on the riverfront. Come down early in the evening, enjoy some food and some activities, correct?
Yes.
We really pride ourselves on making this event that's open to all people in our community, and that's why we are excited even to have the kids zone this year too, which is free to all families. We're going to do face painting and inflatables, just some really fun things to celebrate this special occasion.
Oh, it sounds so wonderful. Thank you so much. And we'll be broadcasting live that evening, so we definitely, if you can't actually come to the riverfront, we want you to join us on WNIN as we will be broadcasting as well. Thank you both for all of your work toward this event. It should be a great, great night.
Thank you,
Amy.
Join us for the 6th annual Music in the Park concert series. We have live concerts, free family-friendly events in local parks every other Thursday in July and August. It's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We have food trucks, live music, and games for the kids. Bring your family out. You can bring your own dinner. You can bring a picnic blanket, your lawn chairs. You can even bring your pets and come out and have fun and join us for Music in the Park. Learn more on Evansville Parks Foundation's Facebook page.
We're now joined by a few participants in the Warwick County Musical. Today we have vocal music director Jeff Thornton and Gage Mcnew, who will be portraying William Shakespeare in the summer musical Something Rotten. Well, thanks for being here today.
Good morning.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for having us.
So Jeff, tell us a little bit about the musical and about the play.
The musical is called Something Rotten, and it was written in, I think, 2015, and it portrays England in the Renaissance, 1590s or so. with kind of a twist. So there's a lot of modern touches and a lot of modern humor that gets written back into it. So we're following a playwright, Nick Bottom and Nigel Bottom, his brother, who are trying to write a play, or trying to write a play, but they're always in the shadow of Shakespeare. And so there's some kind of zany antics. They go through and meet a soothsayer and try to guess what Shakespeare's next big production is going to be. And let's just say things don't go quite as they had expected. And so there's a lot of humor and references to other shows. And if you know Shakespeare, you'll appreciate many of the humorous points in the show where there are references to his shows or references to other plays and sonnets and things that he's written.
Wonderful. So Gage, what is it like to play an iconic character like Shakespeare, for goodness sakes?
A dream come true. This has been my dream role since 7th grade. And unlike many people, they would think I'm insane for saying this, but I actually enjoy reading Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
I just love the way he writes, and I love this role. I'm basically Mick Jagger with all the swagger and suavity of a rock star, and I really get to step out of my comfort zone and be big and boisterous. I'm not very out there usually, but it's very different. It's very fun. It's crazy. It's silly. I just get to act like I don't care.
Wow.
And it's a really fun experience, honestly.
Great. So how do you prepare for a role like this?
I did a lot of research, and I found out a lot of crazy things about Shakespeare.
Really?
Yeah, he disappeared for a solid 8 years. He had a farm of things I don't think I should say on TV. I don't think he had any kids or anything, so there's no living relatives of Shakespeare. He had like a relatively Scottish accent. Like most of his like jokes and rhymes don't rhyme now, but they rhymed then. It was a whole different dialect. It's really weird to hear.
Okay. So how long have both of you been involved in theater? Jeff, you want to start?
Well, in theater, probably in high school, I started playing piano and for shows and things like that. And then my senior year of high school, I decided I might give it a try and audition for a part. And then I played a role on stage. But then I kind of decided I like the music part of it. So pretty much have just stayed in that role and the music part of the musical roles ever since then. So.
Okay. And Gage, how about you?
I've been doing this for almost 10 years now. This will be my 19th show. I've been doing Warwick County shows for 7 years, I want to say now.
Wonderful.
So I'm well acquainted with the aunties and Mr. Thornton and the like.
So tell us, what's it like to do a production like this? How many people are involved, and how long does it take to put something like this together?
Well, I might be wrong on this, but there's about 80 or so people as a whole, cast, crew, and orchestra, and it really takes a village to put this all together. It wouldn't be the same without any single member of this whole production. It takes almost a month or so to put this all together. We actually have a shortened schedule this year, so we're really cramming it in, and I think we're doing great.
Okay, so Jeff, can you tell us where can people see it? How do they get tickets? Tell us the details.
Absolutely. The show opens July 7th at Castle High School, and you can get tickets by going to warwickshows.org. And tickets are ready there for you, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th at Castle High School.
Wonderful. You won't want to miss it. Thank you both for being here.
Thank
and
you.
break a leg.
Thank you.
And we don't want to forget the EVSC summer musical, SpongeBob SquarePants. Living in a Pineapple Under the Sea, we have Wes Blaylock playing SpongeBob and Max Overby playing his bestie Patrick. Thanks for joining us today.
So happy to be here.
So tell me, what is it like to do a play about such a popular character?
It's a really unique experience in that we have something already so set up for us to take inspiration from. There's so much SpongeBob sort of lore and mythology now at this point that we can draw on, but it also creates a unique challenge because yes, we want to have that and we want it to be recognizable as SpongeBob, but we also want to make it a bit more fleshed out, human, something that can really only exist on the stage. And finding that balance has been a really unique sort of experience and challenge for us both.
So so many people have seen SpongeBob. I mean, he is iconic, even for a parent like me. So how is this play going to be different from what we've seen on the show?
Well, like Wes said, this is a little bit more of a human version. Of course, we're not going to be in big foam suits. It's like for Wes, he's going to have a tie and like a shirt and pants, right?
Okay.
But this brings real world issues into a cartoon. Oh. And so in this show, there is a volcano that is threatening the Bikini Bottom. And it shows like friendship, it shows leadership, and it shows some valuable things to have in like the real world.
So tell me, what is it like to prepare for something like this? Did you watch a ton of SpongeBob shows? Did you practice voices or what?
Yeah, I know as a kid I watched a whole lot, so I sort of had that info coming in. And then the challenge now that I've had to face is, okay, how do I do SpongeBob? Because I know how Tom Kenny, the original voice actor, does SpongeBob. I actually even learned the laugh for it.
Oh, give it to us then. Let's hear it.
Let me.
Okay.
So you just make a really irritating sort of whining noise and grab your throat and shake it like
Terrific. That's awesome. So becoming Patrick, how did you prepare for such a role?
Well, I grew up watching SpongeBob. Like I remember when I was like 3, being over at my grandma's house, she had like a plushie of SpongeBob, and I used to like hold it as I watched SpongeBob. But Patrick I've always related to him, just because like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, I just relate to him on like a deeper meaning, I don't know, because like, I don't know, it's just like having a best friend and being able to be lazy, and just, it's great. Yeah. And
especially during the summer, right?
100%, yeah.
So tell me, the neat thing about the EVSC summer musical and these summer musicals is it's not just having fun, but you also learn something. So what have you learned from this experience, both of you?
The main thing that I've learned now, especially my first time in a principal role like this, is the importance of, I almost want to say morale, right? When we're in a cast of, I think, like 47 different people, and that's just cast, it's so important that every day I'm setting an example. Yeah. And I'm coming into rehearsal energized and with a smile, because that trickles down. And if one person is coming in and they're tired and they're not really into it and they're frustrated, that's going to negatively affect the experience for everyone and then the product. So I'm always reminded of how important it is to really sort of lead by example and character.
Wonderful. And how about you?
Well, I take the approach of making sure that I let everyone else have a good time by just like being happy and just spreading positive vibes. Right. And I try my best to build people up when they're feeling down. And a big thing about this is talking to everyone. You have to have communication with the whole cast to be able to put this thing on.
Very neat, because your energy will translate to the audience, right?
100%.
So your experience is going to make their experience either positive or negative, just like you mentioned. So give us the details. When can people see it? Where's it going to be held? All that good stuff.
The show dates are July 14th through 17th at the Aiken Theater in Old National Events Plaza, just downtown here, in fact.
And how can people get tickets?
You can go on Ticketmaster, the website, or you could go to the box office. There's a fee with the Ticketmaster, so for cheaper tickets, you can go to the box office at the Old National Events Plaza.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. Thanks for all your information. Good luck. And like I told the others, break a leg.
Thank you.
Join us for a family-friendly challenge event called Fun and Games in the Park. It's going to be on Saturday, September 10th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Roberts Park. This event is a challenge event with games and activities for anybody on your team. So a team can consist of from 2 people to 6 people. The teams can be a mix of any age and ability level, so anyone can participate, from the young to the old. Come out and join us.
Now we're joined by Alexis Bergeron, CEO of Visit Evansville, who'll be speaking with us about some of the other events happening this summer. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's absolutely my pleasure.
So tell us, I mean, you have a big job bringing tourists to Evansville, lots of fun events and lots of things to do. What do you have up your sleeve this summer?
Well, absolutely. You know, I'm about 6.5 months into my role now, and it's been just a whirlwind. You know, when people say there's nothing to do here, I pull out my list of ongoing events and talk about just really how the community is thriving with a lot going on. So, you know, one thing I'll mention first and foremost, because I don't think a lot of people realize how strong of a sports tourism market we are. And a lot of that is actually driven by the softball tournaments out at Deaconess Sports Park. So we actually have some of our largest tournaments of the year coming up this summer. We've got the USSSA Great Lakes National Softball Tournament. That's bringing in 225 teams from across the country, which is about 6,000 people. So that's going to be coming up July 11th through the 17th. That's enormous. The other thing coming up this summer from a sports standpoint is a USA Softball Tournament, also being held at Deaconess. That's coming up the 19th through the 24th of July. And then finally, something else that's kind of exciting, the USTA, the Tennis Association, is holding their next tournament at the Evansville, or Wesselman Woods, excuse me. It's the Evansville Community Tennis Association tournament. There's going to be some players fresh off Wimbledon here this year because the purse is very big. It's about a $60,000 purse. So 32 singles and 16 doubles are expected to play during that tournament, and that is taking place the 18th through the 24th of July. So from a sports standpoint, we're really making great inroads. Of course, you know, festivals are always king during the summer. So we're looking forward to the Vanderbilt County Fair, you know, coming up on July 25th that begins, and of course Frog Follies, which is an annual staple for our community, August 26th through the 28th. I guess last but not least, I'll talk about sort of the entertainment as well around town. So the Ford Center will have Brantley Gilbert coming in on August 13th. The Victory Theater has Don McLean doing his American Pie tour on July 22nd, so that's kind of fun. Old National Events Plaza is bringing in a great artist that I'm very pleased to see is Gladys Knight on July 31st. Nice. I know, how exciting is that? So, I mean, there's just a ton of things to do this summer. So, it's all on our website, of course, so please check that out.
Well, and we always have to remember not only things coming in, but we've got great things happening that happen every year, like cyclically. We've got a lot of farmers markets. We've got the Franklin Street Bazaar.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about kind of the upsurgence in some of the markets and everything that you've seen.
Well, sure. So, you know, I will say prior to the gas prices increasing, we were seeing a lot of leisure travelers coming to town. So really the market was seeing people driving within 200 miles to our destination. And that's really kind of what you're seeing. People were driving, not flying. And again, it was within that kind of 200-mile parameter or diameter, excuse me. It's slowed down a little here in the last 30 to 45 days, mainly driven by the gas prices. But people are really starting to, you know, want to venture out a little more locally, stay a little more closer to home, and, you know, kind of rediscover, become a tourist in your own town, right? And then, of course, we've got these great cultural districts still, you know, hosting these wonderful events. Haney's Corner and their First Friday events. I mean, the Otters continue to do fun themed nights. So just a lot to experience here locally that we're trying to remind people both locally and regionally within that 200 miles, everything that's going on.
Right. Well, and as you mentioned, if families want to stay home, we have to remember what we have available here. We have the Children's Museum, the Mesker Park Zoo with the new penguin exhibit.
Absolutely. Wesselman Woods just opened their Playscape yesterday, which is fantastic.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so, we've got to continue as in my role and in my organization to continue to remind people that we not only have terrific assets, but we have these assets that continue to evolve and change. And I mentioned Wesselman Woods. You mentioned a couple of others. The Wartime Museum just added a Sherman tank to their exhibit.
Fabulous.
So, I mean, things continue to grow and evolve. And if maybe you visited an attraction a couple years ago, I promise you it's changed. I promise you it's gotten better.
Right. Everything's evolving and moving forward, and they're changing out their exhibits. They're adding new animals at the Mesker Park Zoo, those types of things.
We're going to continue to try to tell our story and remind people just all the wonderful culture and opportunities that we have here, from a burgeoning food and drink scene to, of course, all of the local experiences and opportunities we have.
Sure. Anything that you see coming up on the horizon? Any big projects you're working on?
Well, I will tell you, one thing that we are working very very hard on is to attract riverboats back to our shore. And we are very, very close with a couple of wonderful companies very interested in our destination. So while I can't make any major announcements today, I would say within the year we will start seeing some riverboat stops here again, which will be very, very exciting and help bring people to the market that haven't been here before or maybe haven't experienced some of our, again, places and wonderful things to do here. So looking forward to that. That's definitely on the horizon.
And let's remind people, where can they see all of the fabulous events that are going on around town?
Absolutely. Yeah, visit evansville.com is our website. We also have a couple of newsletters that they can subscribe to. I definitely encourage people to do that, both a tourism newsletter and a leisure newsletter, and that will always include upcoming events as well.
All right, Alexis, thank you so much for joining us.
My
We appreciate
pleasure.
your time.
Thank you for having me.
Join us for our adults-only fun event this fall, September 18th. It's a Sunday afternoon at Helfrich Golf Course from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's Spirits on the Green, September 18th. Go to our Facebook page, Evansville Parks Foundation, to learn more or to buy tickets.
Thanks again to all our guests for joining us to discuss the ways our community can enjoy the summer in the area. Next week, we'll be talking about financial literacy with financial tips for people of all ages. Thanks for watching WNIN Newsmakers.